welcome to episode 47 of the Made by Moomino podcast. My name is Catherine and I'm filming as usual in a rather gloomy and wet Mönchengladbach in Germany today. I'm originally from Wales in the UK, but I live permanently with my partner here in Germany. And a huge warm welcome to you if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here before. So this is my little corner of the internet to talk about mostly knitting, very occasionally some spinning and weaving, but yes, mostly any projects that I'm working on, test knits, that kind of thing. Although I'm giving myself a little break from test knits over December. The last couple of years I've signed up at the last minute or spontaneously for test knits that I do over Christmas. And I've really enjoyed them, but they're often quite complicated and I just don't have the headspace, I suppose, to do colour work and complicated patterns and things over Christmas, purely because there's just so much going on. And we always drive to my parents every year, usually for about 2 weeks. And I have quite a large family, and there's usually people coming in and out, and I want to focus on them and not on complicated knitting projects. So today is all about soothing, nice little projects that I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, thank you for joining me today. Also, I forgot to mention last episode, I did a prize draw a few weeks ago for a little gift away because I reached 4,000 subscribers. But the person who won never got back to me, and it's been about 4 weeks now, so I've redrawn it. So if you commented on episode, I think it was episode 44, I've redrawn it, and I'll be announcing that at the end of today's episode. So yeah, I've got a lovely cup of tea here. Not sure what it is, if I'm honest. Something wintry, smells cinnamony. So yeah, grab yourselves a nice soothing beverage and let's get stuck into it. As you can see, today I'm wearing my Dala Sweater, and if it stops raining, I will go and do a little video of myself wearing it after I finished filming this. But if there's nothing here, it's still raining. So yes, this is my finished Dala Sweater, and I'm super happy with it. It's very, very soft and light and warm. It's Nutiden, a single strand of Nutiden held with a single strand of mohair throughout. I used Ito. If you want to know some more details about it, please go and have a look at my last episode because I went into quite a lot of detail then. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. As you can see, modifications, I made the sleeves a little bit shorter, probably about 12 centimetres shorter than the pattern suggested. And I made the body about 4 centimetres shorter just so that it hits the top of my hip. This used just under 300 grams of Nutiden. I think it was about 260 grams of Nutiden, something like that. And I made the 5th size, and it used, I think, about 4 balls of Ito, 4 balls of Ito, I think, which are about 20 grams each. So it's not a bad sweater in terms of the amount of yarn that I've used. I had plenty of yarn left over to make the sleeves a bit longer. It's just I really want to wear this over the festive period and maybe even on Christmas Day. And there's lots of cooking and things going on, so I just wanted to have my arms free for all of that. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. If I don't get to take some photographs today, I will wait until the weather's a bit nicer, maybe in a couple of days, and do some pictures and pop them on Instagram. Speaking of which, you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Ko-fi, Blue Sky as Moomino or Made by Moomino. And the reason for the name is that I love all things Moomin. So years ago when I started an Instagram account, I just came up with the name Moomino because I didn't want to have my real name on there. As a sort of an homage to Moomins, so yeah, that's where the name comes from, and it's kind of stuck, which I've kind of hoisted my own petard a little bit with it because it's really difficult to say Made by Moomino, but yeah. So that's what I'm wearing, an absolutely delightful festive Dala sweater in this beautiful red colour, and to say I'm happy with it is an understatement. The downside about the pattern is it's not size inclusive. I knit the 5th size and I believe there are only 6 sizes. And just for reference, I have a 120 centimetre bust, and I'm getting about, I'd say about 10 centimetres of positive ease for my size. But to be honest, my gauge always tends to be a little bit bigger when I'm doing colour work for some reason. I think I'm a thrower, and I think, yeah, my tension tends to be quite relaxed when I'm doing colour work for whatever reason. But these little horses are adorable, although my partner loves donkeys and he keeps referring to it as my donkey jumper. So yes, but they are little Swedish Dalas and they're very, very cute. The next thing I've got to show you is housed in this gorgeous new project bag. So last week it was my birthday, and thank you so much for the people who sent me little birthday wishes and commented on my last episode. It was really sweet of you. And my mum made me some new project bags for my birthday. So she's a quilter. She doesn't make these to sell, but very occasionally she makes me project bags, and I'm always grateful. How gorgeous is that paisley? It's beautiful. Not only did she make me this, where is it? She made me a notions pouch that's long enough for sort of big DPNs and things. At the moment it's full of chocolate, but we'll gloss over that. And she also made me this, a giant jumper bag or a blanket bag or something, and I was just blown away. I was so grateful. Yeah, it's really sweet of her. So yeah, new project bags, which is rather marvellous. I'll pop those down there. Actually, whilst I've got this here, I can show you some yarn that I also got for my birthday from my parents. These gorgeous little minis, and I'm never sure how to say the name of the maker. I think it's Kjatiambig or something like that. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but she's the person who made all the cat jumpers and things. I don't know if you've seen them. They're just absolutely adorable. But yeah, I've got these gorgeous little minis. I'll pop them away somewhere. They're all 50% Corriedale and 50% Romney. But yeah, oh yeah, here we go. Here's her card. Oh, no, that's not her card. That's just a postcard. No, I don't have anything. Yeah, she makes all these little cute cat things. And they're gorgeous. Oh, yes, I'm getting really sidetracked here as well. My dad dabbles in a little bit of making things out of leather. And he made me this adorable little pouch for keeping sharp scissors in. That's just marvellous. So he buys these little bundles of scrap leather from the visitor centre. If you're ever in Wales, the visitor centre up in the Brecon Beacons, Banner Brychaniog, is a really lovely place to go. They do really nice sandwiches, really nice lunches and things, but they also have a really cool gift shop that sells loads of things from local artists. But one of the things they also sell is bundles of scrap leather. So yeah, my dad picks up these little bundles and he makes cool things. He made me a shawl cuff as well one year, which was really cool. But yeah, that was my birthday stuff. Anyway, I've got totally sidetracked. What I wanted to show you was my birthday cast on. And I've done this so far. How cool is that? I do like a little bit of colour work. If you've never done colour work before, this type of pattern is perfect, I think, as a starter. It's not too intimidating because you've got a reasonably small project, but at the same time, it's not a super small circumference, which can also be a bit challenging. Something like the Pacific Knit Co. Doodle Decks would be a great place to start for learning how to do colour work. But cowls are probably my recommendation, because also you don't have to worry about any decreases. It's just with this type of thing, you're making a tube and then grafting the ends together. Now I've done a kind of provisional cast on, and by provisional cast on I mean I've put a stitch cord on the end there, just so that I can pick those up. So when I'm casting on, I attach a stitch cord to the end of the needle and put it down so it's parallel with the needle, and then cast on around both. So then I can end up with these stitches that I can pick up at the end. I know a lot of people do a crochet cast on or something like that. I'm terrible at doing crochet. I always seem to get it wrong and I end up kind of trying to pick out all of these little bits. I'll get it right one of these days. But anyway, back to the pattern. Oh, I've got these really cute little stitch markers. How can I show this to you? These are from Bubbles and Berries, little festive crisp stitch markers. Yes, so this is the Pick and Mix cowl. You can't download the pattern on its own. It comes with a kit, but I bought mine at a yarn festival when I went to Wonderwall last year. And this is the pattern. And it's a really, really simple recipe. There's a little chart on the back and it's just sort of, you know, knit your own adventure really. So I've got 10 different colours here and I've used all of them so far. And I'm not being particularly picky about which colours that I use. I am just sort of making sure that I've got sort of a light and a dark. I'm really happy with that so far. It's very, very, very satisfying to knit. I was aiming for doing a long and a short repeat every day, but you know, life. So far I've done 3 repeats. For this cowl you need to do 11 altogether. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing to work on that. But those colours are just so cute. I love it. Yes, stranded colour work. It's definitely one of my favourite things to do. Let's get one for you. And they just have so many different colours to play with. It's just a lot of fun. I'll show you one of the labels. Now, I have made a big mistake here. I just started, as I was picking them up, just pulling the labels off and not kind of making a note or making a little card or something with little samples in to remember what all the colours are. Never mind, I'm sure I can work it out if I need to. But yes, the company is WE County Yarns. And these are pure wool 4-ply, approximately 10 grams, which is about 45 to 56 metres. And it's all wool made in Scotland. So I'm thoroughly enjoying working on that. Feels like a really nice selfish project. And yes, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Okay, the next thing to show you are my Moomin socks. I don't have any finished objects today. I am so close to finishing the second sock. Gosh, it's a very sort of red and white festive heavy episode today. But these Moomin socks are just adorable. I cast them on last year and I made this last year, and then I started the cuff and then there was a bit of a knitting emergency. But I'm so close. I managed to work out what I'd done in the other sock. Because I haven't stuck exactly to the pattern. So the socks are in this book and the pattern, I'll show you what it originally looks like. They look like that, which are adorable, but I did not want to have some knee-high socks for this occasion. So what I've done is I've taken the top bit and then I've just done a normal heel flap and gusset. And then I followed the foot doing the flea stitch instead of the hearts. Although the hearts are adorable, and I do have some regrets for not doing the hearts. So yeah, I managed to work out what I'd done. So there's this little motif around here which I followed around the heel flap after I picked up those stitches. And then I kind of regret not doing the same thing here, if I'm honest. But it would have been nice to do the hearts down on the foot perhaps. Never know, maybe one day I'll make another pair and do that. But I just wanted something where I didn't have to follow a chart or a pattern. To be honest, probably wouldn't have needed to follow the chart for the hearts either. Never mind, it's done now. So yes, these are adorable Moomin socks. Should be finished this week because this is now a little mindless bit with a little bit of flea stitch. I'm making these in ordinary sock yarn. This one is from Yavol in 2 different colours. And I'm using a 2.5mm needle. So I've been experimenting doing colour work socks in different needle sizes, and as I mentioned earlier, my gauge actually tends to be looser when I'm doing colour work. So I need to sort of find that balance between making effectively a double layer sock, so you need a little bit more space, but also making sure that my gauge isn't too big. And I found that for my knitting style, about a 2.5mm is right. And as you can see, I'm making these on a small circumference needle. These are just my little Chowgu minis. But yeah, I find those really good for making socks on. And yeah, I'm just thinking when I do the toe, I tend to transfer then onto DPNs just to do the toe for the decreases there. But normally I would tend to use Addy Trios, but I don't have any Addy Trios in 2.5mm, so maybe I need to get some. But yeah, that's my Moomin socks. So the next thing to show you is another pair of socks. I'm knitting a lot of socks at the moment. I wouldn't call myself a sock knitter at all, but I had some leftover yarn from the Cozy Knitter Advent last year. So the Cozy Knitter makes this beautiful self-striping yarn that you can use as an advent, and the idea is you knit your socks concurrently and do one stripe a day. And luckily I have reasonably small feet. I'm a UK size 6, so I could get 2 pairs of socks out of out of this yarn, which is, you know, really lucky. The pair that I made last year, I held it with mohair to make it really super fluffy, and I really enjoyed that. But these ones I'm just doing a vanilla sock. I love making socks with self-striping yarn because you don't need to count to make them matchy-matchy. Just make sure that you stop for the heel flap and everything at the same point, or your afterthought heel or whatever. But this is being housed in, no, that's not in that bag. Where is it? What have I done with it? I'll be back in a moment. It was still in my handbag, and as this is a handbag knitting project, not surprising. But yes, I have got this left for the second sock. So when you get the Cozy Knitter Advent, it comes in 2 little mini skeins, or half skeins, so that you can knit your socks concurrently. And all I've done is start to cast on the cuff. And as I said, normally for socks, I just use Addy Trios. I find it just easier because you don't need to switch between different things. If you need to do a decrease or whatever, it's just my preferred method. So yes, I've got this left, and when I did the other sock, I had literally about 10 centimetres, maybe 15 centimetres, so about 5 inches of the yarn left of the other ball, so just enough to make 2 pairs of socks. I wouldn't have minded if there hadn't been enough, because I would have just used the contrast colour for the toe for a little bit longer. It wouldn't have bothered me, but yeah, very happy that I've got just enough to make another pair of socks from that. Okay, so my next project to show you, I had a bit of a false start with this one. So I've got a yarn advent from Atelier Het Volbeest, who's a localish dyer to me, just across the border in the Netherlands. And it's a Moomin themed advent with 4 100-gram skeins, although she did pop in an extra one for me, which was really kind of her. And I had this great plan to do the portal blanket from Pearl Soho, which starts from the middle and is a seed stitch or a moss stitch, I can't remember which one it is, all the way around until the blanket is as big as you want it to be. And I knit on this after I finished filming the last episode last Monday, and I couldn't knit for the whole day the following day. I had terrible wrist pain. I've never had that before. So I thought, you know what, this is just a blanket. It's really not worth the wrist pain. So I was searching around for another plain and simple pattern that would give me a bit of DK squish. So I'd end up with a lovely cozy blanket at the end of it, but I didn't need to follow a pattern and was free preferably. And I remembered a couple of years ago I'd made some gift blankets for people using Very Pink Knits traditional dishcloth pattern. So it's such a simple pattern, it's available for free online, but it's just such a satisfying blanket knit for me, and I've made a few of them. Apologies for any noises. So this is what I've done so far. I'm holding all of the advent yarns with this bright pink because I just want a really happy, cheerful blanket. This is woolly knit British 4-ply in blossom pink, and I bought this years ago. I think it may have even been one of the first cones that I bought from Woolly Knit, with the intention of doing a scrappy blanket at some point. And I thought this would be the perfect project to use it. I know it's going to drown out the colours of my advent a little bit, but I kind of want that scrappy, mild look. So what I've done here is started with the first colour from the advent. I also had a lot of leftovers from an advent I made for myself a few years ago from Lay Family Yarn. So I'm using the scraps from that. So I'm doing a nice big block of the new advent, a thinner block of the old advent, and then bringing in another colour. And I'm not going to be worried about what colours I'm doing or anything like that. So let me show you. This was the first colour in the advent. This is the second colour. And I can show you the third colour now because I've just opened it. Here we go. Here's the third colour. So it's these lovely sort of quite delicate, chill colours. And it's just going to look really fun. I want that sort of scrappy blanket look without it being too scrappy. And I want it to be as big as I possibly can make it. So I'll just show you the other colours from Lay Family Yarn. I originally bought this and made myself a Pacific Doodle company like holiday themed cowl. So this is one of the colours from Lay Family Yarn. I think it's called Mellow Fruitfulness. There's another one called Poodle Paws, which is very similar to this colour, just a slightly more pink. Oh goodness, everything's gone into a bit of a mess in here. This is another one, it's a deep burgundy colour. And this is another one which I think was called something about peach something, I can't remember. But I've got these colours as well to mix in and do the sort of other thinner stripes, because I'd really like to end up with a 2 metre square blanket by the end of it. I'm not going to finish this during Advent. But I do have approximately 20 hours in a car coming up, because every year we drive to my parents and it's about 10 hours door to door, sometimes a bit longer depending on traffic. But yeah, I've got lots of knitting time for it, and it's just so simple. I'm not giving anything away because it's a free pattern. It's garter stitch, so it's lovely and squishy. And at the beginning of every row, you knit 2 and then do a yarn over, and then knit to the end of the row. Easy peasy. And I've got this really super cute little snuffkin stitch marker there that came with the first of the Advent yarns. Oh, I forgot to show you. What have I done with it now? With my, there they are, I'm using the stitch marker that came on the most recent skein. Is a little Moomin troll. I forgot to show you. Is that going to focus? There we go. Is that adorable? So yeah, lots of Moomins today, lots of red and white, lots of Moomins. But this blanket is perfect. I know it might seem a little bit boring or whatever, but I just really want something that's going to end up with a very cosy, usable blanket by the end of it. And I think this is going to be perfect. So yeah, looking forward to scaling up the next colour and seeing how that works with the contrast colour that I've got, or the second colour that I've got. So whilst I'm on the subject of Advents, I must show you the other things that came in my Advent this week from Hatful Beast. There was this lovely tea, and this is black tea with ginger, carrots, chamomile, raspberries and lime oil. So that's rather nice, I'll enjoy that later. Also a little chocolate from Merci, which I've been very restrained, I haven't eaten it yet. I'll eat it later. And also this Moomin pen with a little Moomin troll on the end of it, little biro. He's so cute. So yes, that's going to be living in my project bag as well, I think. Very cute. Oh, it's a little gel pen. Oh, nice. I assumed it was a biro. Happy days. Yes, and I must say as well, thank you so much to the people who were explaining to me about the Dutch traditions of St. Nicholas visiting on the 5th of December. So here in Germany, Nikolaus visits on the 6th of December, and children leave their shoes or their boots outside, and in the morning they're filled with, chocolate or toys or goodies and things. And weirdly, that always happens to me as well. I don't know why, because I certainly haven't been very well behaved. But this year, Nicholas was very generous and I got some chocolate, but also some Lego as well. So I haven't done the Lego yet, but it's some little botanicals. So I collect them and they're up on the shelf there. But also, I've been really lucky this year. I treated myself to a Fibre advent from Wool and Twine. And the Fibre this week is glorious. Look at that. Hewler in Hamburg does make some beautiful products. This is the Heirloom blend, which is 100% Exmoor Blueface. And it's just 100 grams of fibre goodness that I'm going to tuck away and save for a nice January project, or I might even save it for Tour de Fleece next year, but for now I'm just going to enjoy the goodies. I forgot to mention last week there was a QR code in the Fibre advent for a lovely recipe, and this week there's a little pin badge of a little quilted square. That's really cute. So yes, really lucky with my Fibre advent this year, and I'm really enjoying opening them. So knitting plans, very, very quickly. I've almost finished my handbag knitting project. I've just got that one other sock to do, and I'm going to cast on a Musselburgh for my partner because it's been a while since I've made him one. And I've already skeined up the yarn, ready to go. This is from Undercover Otter, and it is, what's the mix? So this is the label. The colour is called Zozo, and it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 100 grams is 400 meters, and it's just beautiful. So yes, I think I will cast on a Musselburgh. A few people have asked for a sort of a tutorial type video. I will make some videos of me making it, but I'm not really sure I feel comfortable doing a tutorial for a paid for pattern. So I'll definitely do some tips and tricks, that kind of thing, but I'm not sure that I can do a tutorial just because it would give away too much of the pattern. But yeah, I'll definitely make a little video series of me making this. This is in a Sherry Iris bag that I had as part of my Christmas gift last year from my partner. So I'm looking forward to starting that in the not too distant future. Other than that, I've got a finished weaving project. So if you're not interested, please feel free to skip to the next part. I've made, and also Jenny, if you're watching, please skip this part. I've made a woven scarf as a gift. And this is with, I'm not sure how you say it, it's IKKE, Ike, I think it is. It's a Dutch dyer, a pair of sisters who make really beautiful hand-dyed cotton. So I got 2 skeins of their yarn, and I've made a cotton scarf as a gift. Needs a little bit of a steam. I've washed it, but it needs steaming. Yeah, but it's getting better. The weaving's getting better. I've got an Ashford rigid heddle loom, and I keep weaving with cotton and linen on a very fine weave, which is probably the most difficult thing you can do to start off with. But you know, it's a good learning curve, and I'm really enjoying the process. So that's all ready to be steamed and then wrapped up to be gifted at Christmas for somebody. I think that's all I've got to talk about today. So I will quickly put the draw and the name up here for the person who's won the gift away from a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that the original winner never got back in contact with, or never contacted me to say that they were the winner. So if it was your name that's here, please email me at madebymoomino@gmail.com, and we'll sort out a voucher for a yarn shop online or in person of your choice. The prize is a €20 gift voucher or equivalent for wherever you are. So yeah, please email me and we'll get that sorted out for you. But other than that, At the end of this episode, as I said, there's a little tour around Aachen Christmas Market, which if you're ever in Germany, or this part of Germany anyway, it's definitely my favourite one to go to. It's right in the middle of the city and it's in like 3 different sort of squares. And it's just really chill, it's really nice. There's a really good vibe there with, plenty of tourists and lots of really cool little stalls and things selling handcrafts and yummy goodies. And then the second Christmas market that you'll see is in Schloss, which is a local Christmas market. It's ticketed, a little bit more difficult to get to and tends to be sort of more, local craft orientated. So lots of hand carved wooden things and lots of knitting, nice food, that kind of thing. So when my friends and I went there, we just kind of moved from food stall to food stall to food stall, and it's just really, really fun. Plenty of Glühwein, and if Glühwein isn't your thing, you can also have hot chocolate and things like that. I must say, the last few years I've discovered a preference for white Glühwein over red Glühwein. I just find I don't get a headache from it. So yes, we had a really lovely time, my partner and our friends there. It was just a really, really nice week. The weather has been pretty awful. It's been raining a lot, and it was raining when we were at the second Christmas market. But it is what it is. Just take an umbrella. Yes, I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. Yeah, I have nothing else to talk about. That's it. So I hope you are having a lovely December wherever you are, and thank you so much for joining me again today, and I hope to see you next week for another episode. Take care. Bye bye.